Recently made a video complaining about how when you get asked on a date, guys always just put the two options out of bowling and mini golf. Well, I am here to confirm that a very lovely man has just messaged me and he's arranged a date, and he just said it's booked for 7 p.m. next Saturday and it can be a surprise. And I said, I don't know, that's too much for me. I can't have surprise. Don't give me anxiety like that. So I just said, go on, why don't you just tell me? He's like, I can tell you. He's booked a very nice restaurant. Yeah. I've looked it up online. Yeah. And like when you go on and you search something in a restaurant and it comes up on like Google and then it has the pound signs. It's not got £1 sign. It's not got £2 sign. It's not got £3 signs. It's got £4 signs. Where the fuck are we dining? Does he know that he's going to have to pay? Because I'm worried for his bank account. But anyway, finally, someone that offered to wine and dine me.
I can honestly say, I've never offered to do bowling or mini golf on a first date. And if I was to do something like that, it would have been way back in my university days. These days, though, I'm not out here trying to pull a muscle. Now, when I'm reacting to these videos, sometimes I've watched them in full beforehand, and other times, I react to them as I go. On this occasion, I'd seen the whole thing, and I can't resist a good comment section, and someone down there explained exactly what I was thinking when we got to the end of this clip.
It's so sad the thing you're excited about is the price of the restaurant, not the guy you're dating.
Says who?
Your video is telling.
If you knew me, then maybe that comment would have some substance. Have a good day.
Can only go by what you choose to show us. The price of the meal is what you chose. Enjoy your date.
Agreed, but I'm just excited to be going somewhere nice as I don't often dine in nice places. Thank you.
I fully side with that beardy guy because she didn't talk about anything else. The only thing she was interested in was the amount her date was willing to spend on her. She didn't mention anything about what type of guy he was, the connection they had before planning this first date, or even being excited about having a new experience in general as opposed to bowling or mini golf. Instead, it was all about the money. And you wonder why guys are all about the coffee dates these days. Now, it could be the case that she is more interested in the guy than the places he's taking her, but that's not the energy she was giving off in this video.
People always get this confused. When I say I'm not going to date a broke guy, that doesn't mean that automatically when he has money, that automatically means I want him. Like, I want y'all to understand, money is a prerequisite. Think of it like admission to a university. Your high school grades are the prerequisite to get in, but you still have to hustle and be a right fit and work to get your degree. The same thing goes for relationships. The man has the prerequisite. He has money, sure, but now we gotta see, does he have good character? Is he compatible with me? Are our lifestyles similar? Do we want the same things out of life? Do we have the same values? So yes, money's important to get you in the door, but it's not going to make you pass your exams. And honestly, I'm so tired of people being mad about this because it's the same thing for men when they want a girl that's pretty. Like, she has to be pretty. That's the prerequisite for you to be interested in her. But once she's got her foot in the door, once you're interested enough to pursue her because she's pretty, she still has to have personality. You're not going to want to date her if she doesn't have personality. I've heard so many men say that. I don't just want a pretty girl, she has to have a personality. Exactly. But you wouldn't even look twice at her if she wasn't pretty. Same thing goes for men with money. And not even every girl thinks the way that I think. This is just me. I'm just talking about me. When I say I want a man with money, that doesn't mean I'm just going to date him because he has money. I'm not a gold digger.
While she might not date a guy simply because he has money, it's pretty clear that having money is the most important thing to her, because without it, he doesn't stand a chance, regardless of how good of a guy he is or anything like that. She didn't tell us what her dollar amount is, so I'm not going to make any assumptions about that right now. But if you want, you guys can make a guess in the comments. As much as people want to talk about the red pill and how it has a negative influence on young men, when women make videos like this, it proves the point that a lot of women take an interest in a man's bank account before anything else. Do all women want a man who's over 6 foot and makes 6 figures? No, not in the real world. But the majority would prefer a guy who's bigger than them and has something going for himself. Now, to be fair to this creator, she's absolutely right when she talked about how a man has to be attracted to a woman before he considers her for anything else. And it doesn't really matter how nice she is as a person. If a guy's not physically attracted to a woman, it'll be hard for him to get past.
So I've been married almost 18 years, and on many occasions during those 18 years, I would find myself standing before my husband, asking my husband to care about me, asking him to talk to me, asking him to spend time with me, take me on a date, spend time with me and our kids, prioritize us over work, over his hobbies. And a lot of times his response to that would be that I was too emotional. I was too focused on feelings. I was using my heart, not my head. And basically I was doing all of that because I was a woman. Now, obviously, this was a way for him to kind of dismiss me, right? Dismiss my feelings, dismiss the concerns that I was bringing him, just dismiss me in the conversation. But about a year ago, after having one of those discussions, I went into my room. I was crying. I was emotional, of course. But I sat and I thought about it. And I said, you know what? Maybe he's right. Maybe I should be looking at this entire situation using my logic. Maybe I should put my feelings aside and stop being so emotional and just sit down and logically think this entire situation through. And when I did that, I realized something. I don't want to do this anymore. This marriage isn't working for me. I'm not happy. I don't like it. I don't want to do it anymore. I'm standing in front of somebody, asking them, begging them to love me, begging them to watch a television show with me. It didn't make any sense when I thought about it logically. It's funny because it was really my emotion and my feelings which was keeping me in the situation for so many years. But once I applied my logic, the answer was as clear as day.
18 years is a long time to be married, so when someone decides to call it quits, it's gotta be over something serious. And in this case, it seems like it was death by 1,000 cuts. She said that she'd be asking her husband to show that he cared about her, and while he probably did, he wasn't showing her in a way that she appreciated or recognized. Or maybe he didn't care at all. Since none of us are actually a part of her marriage, we don't really know how much he cared or didn't care. Now, while I get that she wanted her husband to prioritize her over his hobbies, I don't fully agree with that when it comes to work. We don't know what this guy does for a living or how much he's bringing in, but if his lack of dedication to work resulted in him making less money, you can bet your ass that he'd never hear the end of it. Of course, it's also possible that he worked more hours simply because he wanted to avoid spending time at home. It wouldn't be that shocking because that shit happens too. In any case, when you're married to someone, you've got to listen to your partner, and while you might not be able to tend to every need they have, you can at least make the effort. When you ignore the needs of your partner or fail to pay attention to them, it makes it even easier for them to reply to a message from their new friend at work, and we all know how that whole situation often turns out. I'm not saying that cheating on your partner is how someone should resolve the issues in their marriage, but it does happen. We're living in a time where it's pretty easy for people to call it quits on a marriage. It doesn't matter how long you've been together, and I think that whole "till death do us part" thing is history and doesn't really apply these days. This story kinda intrigued me though, so I wanted to know more about how things turned out after she made this video, and boy, did the divorce process turn into a whole thing. Maybe I'll dive deeper into what happened in another video if you guys are interested. From what I saw on her timeline though, I think it's in everyone's best interest to have a prenup. And it's something they should review every year because you just never know when shit's gonna go left. And the last thing you wanna do is have your bank account drained in divorce court because that shit's not pretty.
She thinks you owe her before the date even starts. And people will say, oh, this isn't really true, Jed. Women don't do this. Yes, they do. And they're telling you they do. Yes, they do. This is not some, rare. This is happening all over the place. Trust me. I order the oysters because I want to test the financial vibe. So you didn't order the oysters because you like oysters, which would have been fine. You ordered it to test the guy. How much money does he have? How much money is he willing to spend? Is he at all alarmed that I ordered the oysters and then the beef and then the tuna tartare and then it's a game. It's like a power trip. How is this a good place to start a relationship if you do like him? Oh, I just thought I would spend the first date just testing you. Oh, aren't you peachy? Let me bring you home to mom. No, I don't think so.
If you watched the first video I reacted to today, you can see that she's not lying about this. While it obviously doesn't apply to every woman, there are more than enough who want to know what a man's financial situation is before they even think about entertaining him. And one of the easiest ways to do this is by seeing how much he's willing to spend on a first date. Coffee dates all the way, man. Because you've got to think, if she's ready to spend all your money now, how do you think things will be if you do end up getting a divorce one day? If your money is what attracted her to you at the start, you best believe she's going to take as much of it as she can when she's on her way out.
Men act like women have these insanely high standards. If you actually talk to a woman and asked her what she's looking for, it all kind of boils down to, I want someone who loves me and respects me. And somehow men still have a problem with that, because at the end of the day, most straight men do not actually like women. They like what women can give them, but they don't actually like or care about women. And that's why so many of them are involuntarily celibate.
Men can also say the same thing about women, in the sense that a lot of them only see men as a utility, an ATM, a means to an end. Still, I will agree with her that in the real world, most women aren't actually out here looking for a man who's making six figures and all that, but it'd also be a lie to say that they're only looking for a man who loves and respects them. If this was the case, the friend zone wouldn't be overflowing with guys who are looking for their happily ever after. There are a lot of other qualities that women look for in a partner, and with things being how they are these days, fewer and fewer men are able to meet these standards. And for me, this is where I think being red-pilled can help some men if they work on becoming the best version of themselves so they can live the life they want. Anyway, guys, I'm just about done, but if you made it to the end, let me know what you think in the comments.